What's going on, guys? Victoria here, your credit solutionist from mycreditcall.com. As you can see, we're here. It's another Friday. I have a very special guest tonight because, listen, y'all, I don't know what to make of all this financial news that we have had lately. De-dollarization is a thing, you guys. It looks like they're trying to erase our currency off of the face of the planet. So tonight, I'm going to talk about that. China's tripping. My guest has the scoop. We're going to talk a little bit about Fed now and a little bit of gold and silver and maybe some crypto. I don't know. My guy's on a tight schedule here. And by the way, the afro's back. I think I'm going to name her Sheila. What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Anyway, thank you guys for showing up. Without further ado, we're going to stop this music and we're going to bring on my special guest. He's a two-timer. The only two people that have been on my show twice are mentor Shelly and Cherie over at Black People Making Money. So if you come on my show twice, that means you are definitely loved. And I know you will bring value to my audience. So guys, without further ado, I'm going to introduce one person that's becoming a friend of mine, Mr. Demi Sanya. Hey, how's it going? You are muted, sir. We need to hear you.
Well, I forgot you had muted me when I was. I didn't do that, man. How are you doing today? The amazing Miss Victoria. How are you, ma'am?
All is well. All is well. I actually forgot to mention one thing, but I'll do it after your introduction here. So, Demi, I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor for the people. We are on subscribers only mode right now, so we will talk about that in a second. But let me go ahead and let you have the floor. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and what is your specialty, master. Let's go ahead.
Let's make it happen. Demi Sanya, and I'm so excited to be back here with Miss Victoria. What an amazing platform, and I got to congratulate her. She's helping so many people globally, and I'm just seeing her crush it on social media. And when you use that word "crush it," that means she's just helping a lot of people, educating a lot of people. And she's so voiceful, and she speaks the truth. So I'm just excited to be back here. Thank you. I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C. I'm a native of our nation's capital, so-called seat of power. It's been an amazing journey here in the city and seeing so much change here. But my niche in the space of just social media abroad and business is teaching people about money, financial literacy. No advice. I have no advice. I'm just a random dude on Instagram. I'm a random dude on TikTok and YouTube. So don't listen to those kind of people, right? But I educate people on, just basically taking their mindset to the next level and understanding that we got to step outside the box of what we've been taught from the educational, not calling anyone fool, but educational fool system, because this is what is creating. And once again, with all due respect, not calling anyone a fool, but like one of my mentors states, he has a PhD, public high school diploma. He's been able to be financially free for about 30 years. So that shows you that the school system is not creating freedom. So I step into that space to educate people on how to take things to the next level, teaching them about assets, understanding the importance of, even though cash is having some issues, but the importance of cash flow and just really how to preserve their wealth. So with that being said, it's just been a great journey for me now. I'm starting a rich education in 2019, but being in the entrepreneur space, really taking it to the next level in 2015. And the journey has been going on since then, because that's when I started to really pouring myself more financial literacy. And guess what? It's free because it's all out there on YouTube, and you don't have to pay or go into debt to get this kind of knowledge. So it's been a great journey to help people, and I'm really putting the foot to the metal because we're at an important time in history where financial education is the most important thing that we have to. There's some other important things, but as far as your money, it's very important for us to learn simple things if we want to protect ourselves. And also, there's much opportunity today, even with all the chaos, but you got to step outside the box. So, Ms. Victoria, that's what's going on with Demi. I know that was a long explanation, but I just want the people to know that you're listening to a person who's been in the space of business for a good while, has ups and downs, storms and sunshine, and I can speak from both sides.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that introduction. And now your company is a rich education, right? So you do finance. I know you specialize in crypto and commodities such as gold and silver, all the precious metals, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, well, I won't say
Okay.
all of them because there's some other precious metals out there. When you see people trying to steal your Cadillac converter, that's a precious metal, actually. They know something, right? So I don't specialize in those, but the education of things that we're going to go in today, when it's coming to what's allowing you and I to actually communicate that's inside of this computer, gold and silver. So very important asset right there.
Got you. And I know that there are some precious metals, well, they become precious depending on what you actually do with them. You know what I mean? Because if you break it down and make it into some components in a computer, it's worth way more than it is sitting as a block somewhere,
Facts.
under the ground or in a cave somewhere. Okay.
Yes,
So, so when we talk about this de-dollarization thing, okay, China is acting up, Demi, and I need to know from a professional in this space, what are your thoughts about that? But before we actually get into that, guys, sorry. We're on subscribers only mode tonight for chats. So if you are not a subscriber and you want to ask myself or Demi a question, feel free to donate to the channel and we will answer your question right away. Send us a Cash App over at the Credit Solutionist right here, unless you're already subscribed, in which case we will answer your question in the public chat. All right. Had to put that out there because we've had some detractors lately on the channel, and sorry, y'all, that's no longer tolerated. You got to subscribe if you want to talk crazy. Okay, now.
Terrible.
Okay, so I looked up a couple of articles. Oh darn, I just closed one. But what I've been hearing lately is that now supposedly, China is now trying to make the yuan, which is an extension of the renminbi. Am I saying that right?
You are. You are.
The yuan, which the yuan, which is just a different version of the renminbi, which is like a nickel to a dollar. You guys just think of it in those terms. They're essentially kind of going from country to country, trying to see if they can make it the predominant, currency that they're trading in, right? So we know that they're working with Russia right now, which for obvious reasons, I totally get that. I haven't had Russian vodka in nearly 2 years now. Thanks for that, right? Also lost some money in the stock market for some dividend producing stocks, actually. So I was kind of bummed about that. And they're also obviously a part of BRICS, which is trying to get together and really combine forces to pretty much X out the United States altogether. Now, it's my understanding also that all of their economies together in BRICS total the U.S. economy, if I'm not mistaken. I might not be saying that right, but what are your thoughts on that? Like, is China onto something, and will they become a superpower as far as the economy goes at any time?
Well, we could put two fists together and say the trade war between China and America has been going on for a while. But let's do our best to bring this down so that people can understand, and we'll bring China into it. But let's just talk about what the U.S. dollar has been for years upon years, mm-hmm. which is the world reserve currency. Mm-hmm. And with the world reserve currency, we're talking about a currency that people have to go through, people want in order to make trades. So once again, as the public hears this, because we had zero financial education, I had zero financial education, and really financial education is simple. Assets, mm-hmm. liabilities, cash flow, and taxes here in America. But so everyone can understand, the U.S. dollar is the world reserve currency that other countries use to make trade. Now, with what Victoria brought up is vital, is big, because now countries don't want to use the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency, and it's already happening. So when she brought up the subject of the BRICS, so when the public hears something like this, and I'm going to continue, Victoria, to say this, we've been pushed away from financial literacy. Once again, we don't want financial literacy. Why? It's because our teachers didn't want financial literacy. And they're not bad people. They just been trained and conditioned by a system that the wealthy run. And that system is to go into the minds of the people so the people can come out and work for them. But that's another subject because jobs are being crushed right now like a professional bowling bowler, and they're just being knocked out. But when we hear something like this, other major economies not wanting the US dollar, what should we do? No one's saying get rid of the dollar, okay, because she's still exchangeable, okay? Countries still use her. The domino effect has not happened completely, meaning that the dollar hasn't fallen completely, but in your bank account, in the grocery store, you're feeling the crunch. You're seeing the inflation. You're seeing the prices. You're seeing the gas prices. So that's a sign of what's going on with the dollar. So with that being said, Victoria mentioned something important. Talking about the US dollar as the world currency, but then she mentioned China and she mentioned other countries formulating a bank called the BRICS Bank. What does that stand for? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and other countries are now formulating to override the dollar for trade. And what's been the main thing with the US dollar since she's not backed by gold? The gold standard ended in 1971, which was not an immediate takeaway, but it was a gradual takeaway because back in 1974, just imagine this, great people, we still got 15% interest on our cash being parked in the bank. You park some money in the bank today and it's going to melt away. So we're forced, if we want to, we're forced to have to learn to invest and create cash flow. We're forced to do it. So with that being said, you may have heard something like this called the petrodollar, where the US dollar actually being backed by oil. So you had to go through the US to get oil, but now, like Victoria mentioned, China now is using the yuan to get oil, and they're making transactions with other countries. And she also mentioned, because now we have countries that are backing their currency. So these are key things for you and I. If countries don't want to use the US dollar, once again, never telling you what to do, this is only for educational purposes only, what should I be doing? Should I be diversifying my portfolio? Should I not just be holding on to only dollars? Maybe I need to look into getting some gold because a lot of the countries now are backing their currencies with gold. So I'm not saying get any oil unless you want to just stock up on some oil because oil is going to get very expensive and maybe put some in the garage to get to the guy who's going to change your oil in a few months. But this is what's formulating. The BRICS Bank, International Bank, where these countries are tired of being bullied by the US dollar, and they're also tired of accepting a piece of paper that has no backing other than the military. But now countries aren't afraid of America, and this is the tension that we see going on globally with what's happening with the de-dollarization of the US dollar. She can't keep printing cash thinking that she's going to send it abroad. And with that being said, when the money comes back home to us, what does this cause? Hyperinflation.
Right. And the issue here with hyperinflation, in my humble opinion, because y'all, I'm just the credit lady, so don't mind me. But kind of like what Demi said here, this is more it's really just educational purposes, like you said, and entertainment. So don't take any of our advice, okay? Wink, wink.
I forgot to say entertainment because it's good entertainment as well. You're amazing, Victoria. Yeah.
Yeah, so with inflation, it's my understanding that that's sort of why the whole SVB bank thing happened too, because they bought like a bunch of what is it, like bonds and mortgage-backed securities too. I think it was like what 2019 or 2021, something like that, because they had a bunch of people depositing money in the bank and stuff. And then because of inflation, the price of, or the, I guess, value of their bonds went down. And that pretty much caused a whole bunch of people to, start pulling their money out of the bank. And a lot of people weren't depositing as much money in there either. The issue, I think, is kind of what you were talking about. I'm bringing this up for a reason, because I'm thinking, like, if those dollars were backed by gold, would that have happened? Or like, does inflation still affect like bonds and securities and stuff like that when the interest goes up? Like, I might not be asking that correctly, because this is the part that gets a little gray for me and murky. If everything was backed by gold, would a crash like SVB have happened? Like, how is inflation and gold, like, are they related? If there was gold, would that even have
Well,
happened.
you don't have inflation when you have an asset backing a currency, because inflation is caused by the printing of too much money, or like I mentioned, other countries not your money coming back home to you because you printed so much and now it has become worthless.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at gold, gold is just money. Gold. One of my friends just bought 53 acres of land down south of all gold and silver. He's been saving silver since and gold since 1950 acres of land, bro. That's like the
Wait,
ultimate freedom.
wait. Hold on, Demi. I'm sorry now. How? Wait. Okay, was this for sale by owner, or did he take gold bars to the bank? Like, what? How did he make this
Good question.
purchase? What the
Good
heck?
question. Understand gold is money. We're going to talk about that before we end. Gold is money. If you had countries right now using gold to get oil, gold is money. See, once upon a time in our history, gold became illegal. The U.S. made gold illegal. If you didn't turn your gold in, you were going to go to jail. So inquiring minds want to know, why would that be the case? So when Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard, it was supposed to be something temporarily. This is when we weren't the first people to print cash. China was. But this is when America's debts, because that's really more important than anything, Victoria, is our debt ceiling. We're $30 trillion in debt. That's more dangerous than the banking situations. And that was just a speed bump of the three banks that we just experienced within the last few weeks: Silicon Valley, Deutsche Bank, and Credit Suisse. So with that being said, they're two different things. The printing and creation of cash is what causes inflation. Gold is a hedge against inflation. So you're preserving your wealth when you're putting a percentage into gold and silver as a protection, not an investment. Physical, not ETFs. Nothing wrong with those, but physical. So they're two different things. So all countries that have printed, we look at Zimbabwe, they had $1 trillion note. $1 trillion. I mean, you had trillionaires in Zimbabwe. You had billionaires in Venezuela. But the currency went to zero because of the printing in Venezuela, once upon a time being such a wealthy country because of the oil, but they didn't want to use the US dollar once upon a time. And other countries didn't want to use the dollar once upon a time. And what did America do? Oh man, she came and threw bombs on them. You see what I mean? So America's going through, and this is real, America's going through some stuff that what goes around comes around. And this isn't fear-based. This is just, how do I prep myself for all of the chaos that's going on in the financial space? Because when there's blood in the streets, there's opportunity. So this is really the greatest time for you and I to get to the next level and build massive wealth. But if banks are having issues because they're over leveraging, when you put your money in the bank, what do? They go into the Forex market with algorithms and they start trading. They'll turn 200 into millions in 30 days. So you and I have to do the same thing.
Yeah, and I was talking with Diamond Dave. He had me on one of his shows a couple of months ago now, and we were talking about where credit originates from, because I thought it was so fascinating that so many people don't understand where credit even comes from. It's like, okay, essentially it's like this. There's a whole bunch of people out there with a whole bunch of money, and they want to make a bunch of money off of that money. So what they end up doing is they basically strike a deal with the bank or whomever, right? That's going to create these products. Once they give that money to the bank is going to pay that person back, like the investor. They're going to pay the investor back, right? With interest. So over whatever period of time, right? The bank doesn't care what the investor doesn't care what the bank does to get that money, as long as it's legal. So what the bank ends up doing is creating all of these products to give to the general public. And then the way that the bank makes a profit so they can pocket some of the money and give some interest back to the investor is that they basically have a sky high interest rate for your credit card, your home loan, whatever the heck it's going to be, right? So I always try to, well, I don't go too deep into it, so I can't even say that. But I think what people need to understand is, like, when they say credit is debt, I think they understand it in such a weird, like, they don't really truly understand what they're saying when they say that. I'm like, no, it was literally debt before it even became a credit card in your hand. It's insane when you really follow that track. But I'm saying all that to say, I believe that people can use credit to become wealthy or use credit to purchase these hard assets that you're talking about. I'm not opposed to somebody taking $2,000 or $3,000 and going to buy some gold or silver with it. So what are your thoughts on that? Now that we know where credit originates from, can we take these investors' money and go play around and get some hard assets? Is that something that we should do?
Well, I would probably. I mean, a person could do that, Victoria, but I would rather the passive income, or if a person was already saving cash, stop saving cash, because you can't do it's not going to go anywhere, and save gold and silver. So if I was putting up $200 to $300, a week based on what my income is, save gold and silver, because that's how you get to the next level. Cash is going to lose by inflation, and we're at the highest inflation I think we've been. I could be wrong with those numbers, but right now the inflation is moving up. The credit, as far as getting the credit, is good, but that's more on learning to invest with that. I'm using that for investments. Basically, if I'm I'm studying the stock game, because if I'm looking long term for retirement, I'm going to get wiped out. That doesn't exist anymore. But if I'm looking at certain stocks that's in the mining industry, stocks that's in the tech industry, stocks that's dealing with the software and things like that. But this is when a person's going to have to stop playing. You've been on enough trips. It's time to focus right now. Get your I's dotted, T's crossed, because we're at a point in time that if you want to benefit from this transfer, you're going to have to do it. It's not like you got to study like you're going in for this exam, but so that's how I look at using credit, because credit is good, but with the mentality of impressing the Joneses, we'd rather use the credit to get the newest car, the newest BMW. And you're going to have to pay high octane for that gas, because gas prices about to hit the roof. So I'm not knocking anybody. This is how we've been conditioned as people. You know what I mean? So when we're using credit should be used, as you already know the saying, Victoria, once again, not financial advice, but education. OPP, other people's OPM, other people's money.
I was saying, not that OPP, brother. What you talking about now? Hold on.
Other people. OPM, other
this
people's
is a G-rated stream tonight, okay, Demi?
Yes, man. No, that was a mistake. Came out too fast. So that's how credit, I feel, should be used. And the cash flow, however it's coming, your savings goes into the preservation side. If you want to work towards getting a house, or when this market, because the market has to crash. We got too much debt. When that market crashes, there's going to be a lot of things on sale. So credit for investing. If a person wants to learn how to trade in Forex, learn how to do binary options, things to that nature, or other investments, that's what I feel the credit should be used for. But if a person's already used to saving, you save in physical gold, physical silver, you save in gold, you get your gold backs, you get things like this, where we already have 10 states that are now have made gold and silver legal tender, but you have companies, over 100 of them, that take gold backs for products and services. So it's important. But if we're not in the game of money, and some in the game of money don't even know this. Yeah. You know what I mean? They don't even know this, with all due respect. So
because I ain't got no gold backs. I want you to hold that up again. I thought that was a Pokemon card. Hold on, sir. I literally thought that was a Pokemon card. Let me get off the screen and let you show the people. I'm gonna give you your shine. Show the people what that was.
That's called a gold back. Now, I guess because of the green screen. There we go. Think because of the green screen. So that's a gold back. All right. It's a laminated with gold. And you have companies right now that are accepting gold backs as a medium of exchange. Okay. So this you can see a little bit of it. Yeah, I guess it's just the reflection. So this right here will be worth more, even though gold hit 2,000 within the last 2 weeks. She's fluctuating between 2,000 plus and about 19 or high 1900s. So the price is going up. But this gram of gold will be less of value than this. So we don't get gold and silver to look at it for the value purpose. It's only for protection. It's only for protection. But when we hear individuals like Elon Musk looking to get a silver mine because of the electric cars, and he's looking to invest more into silver, electrical cars need this. The electrical car industry, which America is looking to go completely into by a certain time, I don't know how that's going to work, but Silver is not very, but that's wrong language. Is an important asset to have for you and I for protection.
Got you. I wanted to
Good
actually
article.
I'm gonna kind of breeze through that a little bit because I want people to understand that what you're saying right now is the truth. I mean, this article here, this is from weforum.org. It's talking about how there are countries out there that are currently purchasing gold. So it says here, in the quarter ending September, demand for gold was up 28% year on year, reaching one. Oh, I think this is actually talking about 1967. So let me keep on scrolling here. We're gonna talk about the
They just
new.
stepped it up. Central banks just stepped up their gold holdings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So central banks are stocking up on gold. So it says Turkey was the biggest buyer of gold during the quarter, followed by Uzbekistan and India. Not all countries report their gold purchases regularly, so it's difficult to know how much, for example, China and Russia bought during this same period. So I think they are talking about September. So it must have been the last quarter of 2022 that they're referring to, because it was November, right?
Right.
And then here are the top gold buyers, you guys. So I don't think that this is a mistake. And I think that Demi is onto something here, because if there are other countries that are doing this, it would stand to reason that we as lay American citizens should be following suit in whatever way that we can. Let me just finish this last part, Demi, and then I'll get your input here. Okay.
Absolutely.
So it says India is also shoring up its gold reserves. Indian consumers habitually purchase gold jewelry ahead of the festive season every October. But that aside, the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, bought 13 tons of gold in July and 4 tons in September, pushing its reserves to 785 tons. That is insane. So in 2022, the Indian rupee fell heavily against the US dollar by nearly 10% due to aggressive rate hikes by the Federal Reserve. But the RBI used its Forex reserves to cushion the fall somewhat. Now, when I see this, Demi, what I am seeing is that India understands, and these other countries too, okay, our dollar is really not that strong, so we need something to back it. Let's get a hard physical asset. What is that? Gold.
That's right.
Where does the U.S. stand in this? Because they were not on this list. So let's talk about it, Demi. Where do we stand? How much gold do we have?
Well, the U.S. has some gold, and there was a slight, it was a professional debate a gentleman and I were having on Instagram in reference to who's holding the most gold. I say, well, how much gold are you holding? I didn't say that in my mind. I'm like, the number one economy is the economy in our home, right? So with all the stuff that's going on, you get your house straight and you're good to go. But China actually, there are articles out there, China is actually holding more gold than the U.S. I think the U.S. may be the second, because China's been stuck. See, all this stuff didn't just happen out of nowhere. We're talking about the BRICS formation. Once again, to the people out there, BRICS as the formation of the BRICS bank and countries that are actually not dealing with the US dollar. They've been stocking up on gold. We look at Turkey. Turkey just actually put in to be part of the BRICS formation because that's a new country. There's another country, I apologize, I can't pronounce. And I actually just did a Reels video on it a couple of days ago. They want to actually, they're putting in to get with the BRICS. So this stands that the U.S. does have gold. They've taken gold from people. I did a TikTok that I think they muted because of the truth that I shared in this TikTok. It wasn't muted on Reels. But when our brother Gaddafi was actually murdered by his own people, but that was because of the confusion that, man, how can I put this? When it says the serpent deceived the whole world. And one thing about America, they'll come shake your hands and smile. But in the back end, they have other means. In the country where Gaddafi ruled, his people had free medical, free education, free housing. And what was he in the process of doing? Backing his currency by gold. As soon as that happened, this gentleman died. And then you've seen American soldiers holding on to his gold. I mean, tons of physical gold. So gold is very important. I don't know the numbers that America has actually in gold, but China,
we lost you.
China actually is holding on to the gold. So D who owns the gold makes the rules. We have to remember who makes our products. We turn around these beautiful screens we have, it's all coming from China.
China.
Okay? China. We don't make anything here. I think we might be the biggest porn producer. Oh, I'm sorry. Porn producers here in the U.S., right? But what are we producing? Not much, because Meta is offshore. All these other companies, they're really offshore. They're not actually licensed here in America. So with that being said, gold is important. You're hearing certain senators, politicians, governors in certain states, and we're going to go into that subject soon, in disagreement with the Fed now system. Okay.
DeSantis.
What was that?
I think I read DeSantis. Isn't he against it, or am I tripping?
I'm not familiar with this gentleman. He's a politician?
Yeah, he's in Florida. He's the governor of Florida.
He got, absolutely. I know exactly who you're talking about. He is against it. And you have a few that are against it. You know what I mean? And they a lot of them want to go back to sound money. And sound money is just gold and silver. They don't want the people to be into this box, which we're already somewhat in America. We need our freedom. And when you go into a system, I'm going to let you bring that up so the public can know about it. Now you're really talking about, they're going to make it seem good, but now you're really talking about your freedom gone. But at the end of the day, gold and silver is money. And I feel through education, everyone's portfolio should have a part. When you Google how the wealthy stay ahead of the curve, they always preserve what they build through gold and silver and other precious artwork, historical vehicles, things to that nature.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, she was on. Mentor Shelley was on to which she's picking up what you're putting down, is what she's saying here.
Okay.
Now I thought that was interesting because with BRICS, also kind of off topic, but not really. I heard that they are trying to develop a cryptocurrency as well, like an electronic currency. Have you heard anything about that?
Similar to the Fed now coin, or is it for the people, or is it for them for trade? I think
it's for trade.
Okay. And knowing by them doing that cryptocurrency, which there are some out there, it will be backed by an asset. So it won't just be. So when we look at Bitcoin being the first in that space, Bitcoin's backing is the technology. Mm-hmm. And I feel that Bitcoin, while we have electricity, even though that's a threat here in the U.S., I feel Bitcoin, it's been the most outperforming asset in history. Because of the technology, because of the transparency, because of you able to have it to yourself, not in the central bank, it's yours. Mm-hmm. So I feel that also should be part of a person's portfolio. But you do have cryptocurrencies out there that are backed by physical assets.
Now, when you say physical assets, do you mean dollar bills or what? No, actual gold. Physical assets? You're talking about gold.
Oh, yeah, gold. Dollar bill is not an asset.
I know, because I'm like, the dollar bill is just...
Right, yeah. I mean, it used to be an asset, but I mean, even when you go to the Federal Reserve website, they tell you this. They said the largest liability on their books is the dollar. And I mean, but who goes who goes to the Federal Reserve website? You know what I mean? Just find out things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not really, it doesn't make for exciting reading, and I totally understand that, because honestly, I go a little brain dead when I'm on the website too. Like, I'm not even going to front. But once you kind of see where your role is in it, then it becomes a little more interesting. So I do value, platforms like yours with the rich education and just the little bit that you've even said right now. To me, I think that there are some people that are probably watching that weren't able to put two and two together with certain things. And like I said, I ain't never seen it go back on screen. I ain't never seen somebody hold one. So yeah, I put it out there, y'all. So look, it's okay. Yes, I'm very honest here. But when we talk about, you were mentioning the politicians that were against Fed now, I think I was actually going to share that article, but I think we need to talk about what Fed now is first before we actually touch on that as far as who is against it. Because I was talking with you backstage, and here's my thing. When I saw what Fed now is, it's essentially just a electronic system that's going to allow for more rapid payment, right? Instead of the ACH system. where you have to wait 1 to 3 days if you deposit something into the bank, or if I want to send money to you through, I don't know, Zelle or something like that. Sometimes it can take up to a day, right? Fed now essentially just eliminates that, where it's like I could, if I want to send Demi $15, $20. Also, you guys should be cash apping me too, just so
That's
we're
right.
clear. Let me take Mentor Shelly down real quick. Cash app right there. If you have any questions for Demi, feel free to send us a cash app, and yeah, we'll answer those for you tonight. But you just won't have to wait. That's essentially all that it is. Now, on one side, what I see is that this could obviously be a way for the government and our banks and whatever entities to have their hands in our money a little bit more. The fact that, we can now transfer money quickly, nights and weekends and holidays and all that stuff, 24/7, 365. Number one, who's going to run the system? So we know that there's some blockchain involved, right? Which is AI and all that good stuff. So that's here to stay, guys. And it's always been here, really. So that's the first thing. It's like, okay, who's running it? Like, who is actually, like, what company? Is there a tech company that's going to be behind the infrastructure, the software, all that good stuff? Like, who's going to put that together? What happens if it crashes? Are they going to be tracking my money? And then is this going to, interfere with my taxes? Are they going to be able to, cut off my money? Are they going to be able to essentially excommunicate me from being able to participate in, like, commerce and stuff? Those are my only reservations, because it's not like they can't do it now, but I feel like if we implement this Fed Now thing, there's a big chance that could actually happen. So let me stop rambling. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, China's already doing it. It's not called Fed Now in China. They've discontinued cash completely. All of their transactions and whatever money you call it there. I mean, we talked about the yuan, but I don't know if that's what the residents there in China call it. But all of their transactions monetarily are on an app. So China's already rolled it out. Europe is testing it right now. One of what is her name? But she's one of the big heads in the central banks, and she basically stated that the people will not have freedom. She spoke of it in a good way, mentioning that, this will stop all of the hackers and people's money being taken, but they'll make this thing look good, like you mentioned some of the good amenities with this. But then the downside is, if you're donating to a certain cause, they can stop your money. Your money can expire. And basically, they tell you what to do with your money. That's basically it. You will be forced to go into that. I don't even think that they will allow you to use that to get gold, because they don't want gold in the hands of the masses of the people. And it's just like even with cryptocurrency, you did mention, this will be in that space. I've heard some people say it's not blockchain, but I feel it's in that space. But right now with certain platforms, you cannot use US dollar to get cryptocurrency. So it's just a coincidence that the gentleman from Cash App, the CEO from Cash App, passed away. And this Fed Now thing is supposed to be rolling out in July. Cash App is somewhat of I like to call it a freedom platform, because you can move Bitcoin freely. You have a Bitcoin address for people to send you Bitcoin that lasts every 24 hours. It changes. So, and you can move your money, do business and everything. But now here comes the Fed Now system.
Right.
And from my studies, they're looking to make cash something illegal.
Ooh, okay.
So it's kind of confusing, because we see Buffett, who's been holding on to so much cash because he knows what's coming down the road as far as a crash. But he had recently, I say a couple of months ago, said, what's going on to President Biden? Like, what are you guys going to do with these interest rates and things of that nature? Because I'm holding on to this cash, but now you guys are talking about this Fed Now or other titles for Biden bucks.
I know you talked about Biden bucks last time.
Right.
All right, before I'm going to get into this, what is Fed now? But I want to go ahead and shout out Mr. Lin Yen Chin. I don't know what CA is. I'm assuming that's something Chinese. Lin Yen Chin is our resident biracial. He is Black and Asian. I think he's Black and Chinese. I'm not too sure for those confused, but I've known Lin for a couple of years now, so he's good. I love this guy. Merry Christmas, Lin.
I like the picture too, man. That's sharp.
Yeah, he's
Cool.
very, very cool guy. Okay, so Mentor Shelley says social credit is a strong form of controlling the masses. Absolutely. And we're going to do a live stream on that, coming down the pike for sure. Let me go ahead and get into this, and then we're going to jump right back in. Ooh, Canada, even better. Thank you, Lynn. Shows you what I know. Listen, I deal with U.S. currency only. I'll go ahead and I'll let you hang up there, Lynn. Hopefully other people will get the hint. It's Friday. Okay, so what is Fed Now? Let's talk about it. So Fed Now is the Federal Reserve's new instant payment service that will enable customers at participating banks. That's a big major one. Every bank is not going to be doing this, guys. But at participating banks and credit unions to send and receive money within seconds, 24/7, every single day. So let's see here. You'd be able to complete payments for transfers on weekends, holidays, yada, yada. We talked about that. Now, the Automated Clearinghouse Network, which is the ACH, that's the one that can take 1 to 3 days. So you know how, you try to get your money out right away. The bank says no, you have to wait. And you're like, okay, great, whatever. I also see it as a way for them to get your money out of your hands faster by, because you don't get that cooling off period also when you're about to make a ridiculous purchase, right? So that's another thing that I don't like about Fed Now, but I digress. Let me keep going. So what Fed Now will do is it will enable all banks, any bank in the United States, not just the big ones, to offer instantly available funds and real-time payments to their customers. This is very redundant, and I'm very uncomfortable whenever articles are like this because it means that they're trying to shield something that is a little more nefarious, in my personal opinion. It's like, why are you telling us the same thing back to back to back to back to back? I'm literally reading the same thing over and over here. When will it launch? The Federal Reserve plans to launch Fed Now in July 2023. So that's about 2.5 months away or so. More than 120 banks and providers have been part of the pilot program since 2021. So you may actually already be participating in this, but you just don't know. Money's just moving back and forth a lot quicker than it used to. So again, this is really redundant here. Transfer speed is instant. Cost, as with other Fed payment services, Fed Now will charge fees to its participating institutions. That's a big one, guys, because that means that the charges for that are going to get passed down to you by way of maybe they might hike up the cost of like having a checking account or, what is it? Bounced check fees and stuff like that. They're just going to raise all of their fees. Like their fee schedule is going to increase. We're definitely going to eat the cost of that, just so you guys know. So if some of your fees have gone up, it might be because your bank is actually already part of the Fed Now program. So I want you guys to pay attention to little things like this. This is kind of why we're bringing this information to you, so you kind of see what's going on in the background. So what Fed Now may mean to you. 2 uses for Fed Now at its launch include bill payments and account-to-account transfers. That's a big one because I don't necessarily want the bank all up in my business. If I want to send Demi some money, what if I want to meet Demi on the street and give him $5,000? My bank doesn't need to know that. So I wouldn't necessarily want to do it just for convenience. I'm just going to pull my cash out and go give it to you. If that's the case, like I'm going to hold on to old school as long as I can.
Absolutely.
So let's cover this last part, then we'll hop back in. So why Fed Now matters. Fed Now is the first real-time payment service in the U.S. Really, it's the first one. That's amazing. And the government's going to be the one to do it. Okay. The Fed already provides access to its payment services to more than 10,000 banks and credit unions, either directly or through an intermediary. So I'm wondering if Zelle is actually a part of this because they're pretty.
I don't think they move fast enough, but
That's kind of interesting.
Right.
But I went over, they have an actual whole platform. I'm not going to show it, but they do have an entire platform for the banks that want to partake in this. It's literally like this really big, elaborate website, and they have a town, and it takes you through each town, which is like, oh, if you're business to business, this is go over to this town and we'll tell you how to sign up. If you want to watch this, video over here, this is how you do it if you're a small institution versus, it's really weird when you look at it. But the government is really selling this very hard to your financial institutions. And I'm almost positive that there are some kind of kickbacks that the bank is going to get for implementing it. There just has to be something there. So I'm with you when you talk about, like, at some point they're going to use this to literally like make money. I don't know about illegal, but I was thinking more they're just going to make cash obsolete. That's what I was thinking.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, because we see it happen already. I mean, there are places that say we don't accept cash.
Mm-hmm.
It's already happening. I mean, I've seen some Walmarts not taking cash at all. You have to have your debit card or your credit card. So I mean, there have been talks. I'm not sure if you know of Jim Rickards. Jim Rickards is Mr. Robert Kiyosaki's one of his mentors. He actually helped America during the time of 2008 for us not to go into a Great Depression. Met with the Pentagon. I mean, he's a big time guy. He's an advisor to, the good 1%. But I study Jim. I have his newsletter, and Jim really makes it look real. I mean, it is a serious situation, but he educates on not being part of this system because it's going to take away all your freedom. Once again, they're going to put it out to the masses like they always do to make it seem like it's something you need and it's going to be good. But this is dangerous. So this is where, if you're going to participate in it, don't have, once again, not telling anyone what to do, but don't have all your eggs in one basket. If you have no choice, you're working for the government and you're getting paid through this system, then you have no choice. But right now, while you have a little bit of time, hold on to some precious metals. Get in the game of cryptocurrency. Learn how to, something I educate on, learn how to get an offline wallet and put some Bitcoin on there. I mean, don't have everything just sitting on Wall Street. Get some Ethereum. These just two. You don't have to go deep into the crypto space. I mean, there's big opportunity out there, of new projects that you can get in 1,000x in a couple of days, but you got to take time to do that. But away from that, just have your portfolio diverse. I don't want to participate in this at all. I want zero participation in it. You know what I mean? I have means, and anyone who wants to connect with me in my area has means. I get food, and they take gold and silver. So I don't have to use cash because they understand the value of it. You know what I mean? So I don't want to deal with this, man. And I know to a certain point we're going to have to, because they're going to make it where everyone is mandatory that your payment system is going to go through what they've put in place and they've been working on for a good while. So we're right here at this controlled state in our country, and with all these things going on. But once again, I feel that this is going to ignite a big revolution, because I'm hearing some big time people, man. Yeah, we're not dealing with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to deal with it. So this is something very serious for our future here in this country. Other countries are going to. India is doing it. I did on one of my reels, I showed where they're paying with that system, right? The digital coin in India. So they've already rolled it out, so it's happening, and this is the financial literacy that we need. But once again, have yourself in different areas. Don't just take that diversification, that word, in a literal way. You want to take it in a way where I'm not just in this powerful stock here because they have all these different powerful names. No, I'm in different types of stocks. I'm in different forms of money. I'm holding on to different type of digital currency, because if you're going to participate, you want to have a way out. You know what I mean? Even if it was just to help you for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? But you just want a way out. I don't agree with it, Victoria. I don't think it's good at all.
So are you?
Yeah, look at
allow me to play devil's advocate really quick. Because I feel as though many of us have already been participating in something like this because
No, you're right.
like let's really have a conversation. And then I was leaving Lynn up there because I want to actually get your input on that. So I'll put it back up there in a second. But look, Demi, let me come in close for this one. So so here's my question for you, Demi, and I gotta get in close because I'm real serious about this.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
I swipe my debit card, is that not an instant electronic transaction where my money goes from my bank into the whoever's selling me the good or the service? Is that not already what's happening?
Yeah, but now you're going to just have one entity. That's for your bank. You're right. That's for your particular bank. It's for my particular bank. That debit
Mm-hmm.
card. Yeah, we're all using fiat currency, if you want to just call it digital money. But now we're talking about one world. We won't say one world, but one world system because the central banks are behind this. So it'll be fed now here in America where everyone's using this one technology. So you're right. We all
Yeah.
have been participating in it, but it's just under different names. So now it just comes fed now. You see what I'm saying? We're just all in this system that they can shut off any day.
You know, Demi, if either of us disappears next week, I hope that this video stays up because you just I feel like they don't want the people to know what's really going on or like to put two and two together sometimes. But it's like it's always I don't know. Anyway. So, and I was just playing. I don't think they're gonna come after us. But like I said, when I was really thinking about this, because I'm like, okay, just like okay, if somebody cash apps me right now, right? Hint,
Right.
if somebody cash apps me right now, they're essentially again, there is no cash in that transaction. Like there's none. I even have a card from Cash App where I don't ever have to see the cash at all. Like if you send me 20
Facts.
bucks, the 20 bucks is already on my Cash App card, right? And they even make it
Right.
as one of those real hard, like nice cards, right? And you feel like you're doing something, but it's Cash App, y'all. So you can just go and swipe and spend the money before it even becomes physical cash in your hand. So I feel
Right.
like we are already partaking in this, but like you said, it'll be one big central, like it'll just be one big system, right? But if I'm using Cash App or I'm using my bank's debit card, I'm going to be honest with you, as a regular consumer, I'm not thinking about that. To me, it could all just be one big supercomputer. I don't care. I just want to get my money from this place to that place so I can pay my bill and be on my way. So, is the average consumer even going to care that it's one system?
They're
It
not.
could be one system now for all they know. They don't care. They just want
Right.
money to get from point A to point B.
Facts. Absolutely. Yeah, the average consumer won't care. But when you
That's
start
how
to
they're going to get away with it too, because we don't care. We don't care. We just want the money to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just to to survive. But when you see where your country is,
Mm-hmm.
when you understand what's going on with America, okay, I mean, this can get deeper because America, man.
Whatever it is, just say it. Just don't cuss.
Oh no, I don't even curse.
I know. I was gonna say I don't even think you do. I have a
Yeah, I don't curse at all. But yeah, I may say, "Damn, that's a body of water." But at times I may say certain things. But it's just we have to understand that America's at a point right now that she wants to lock everyone in.
Yeah.
Because America's falling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got to keep it 100. We can get all the financial literacy we want. We can get all the land we want. I was listening to a financial educator say one of the assets to and it's always been an asset if you're making money from it, is having real estate. But he said that in this space that we're in, he said something major has to happen to the country. So if you're holding on to real estate, you can rent your real estate out, and a person could pay you with eggs. They could pay you with chickens. And I'm listening to him, but he's speaking real. That a person may have this, and they may need some of your land, and they may have some other things going into this bartering type situation, because that's where we're heading to. Because it's not just the money that's a big issue, it's also the food. We're having major food issues here. I mean, the president of the United States of America, stated that, I said it on purpose, stated that we're going to experience food shortages here in our country. So when we see these prepper channels and all these things in YouTube, even these people are crazy or they're onto something. So it's just all these things are happening in our country. And when we look at America and what she's always been about money.
Yeah.
Always been about money. The three presidents that got assassinated, from Abraham Lincoln, Kennedy, and McKinley, that was because these gentlemen had ideas of changing the monetary system, and that's why they got killed.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to look at what America's been doing, and she has to pay for what she's been doing. But she's trying to keep all of the people in this box to bring us down with her. Because, it's just chaos. It's chaos in the government. There's videos out there where they can't even get things straight, man. So when you have the head, the seat of power, not organized, how you gonna have the people? So they already got us so much into this matrix. This is why my man Andrew Tate was put in. Because this guy's helped thousands upon thousands of people become financially free. Why did I bring that up? Our system in America doesn't want you to be free. Just like you just stated a few seconds ago, Victoria. They don't want you free, man. Why would they want you free? If you're not free, then you can't do what you want, when you want, how you want, whenever you want. No. Nothing wrong with a job. It's a blessing to be working. But when you're in that system of working for money, you don't understand taxes. You don't understand passive income. You don't understand investing. Yeah. You think investing for the long term in a well-diversified portfolio, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs is the way to go. Not speaking about you, but that's how you've been taught and conditioned. Yeah. So it's not, you know what I mean? So we gotta hear information like this and know that we've been tricked, we've been bamboozled, we've been hoodwinked by the system of America that we see falling in our face. The youth may just think this is it, especially if their parents aren't voiceful. Mm-hmm. Their conversations at the dinner table aren't talking about investing and preserving and assets and our abilities. Then the children are just going into that same revolving door. So this is like scribble scrabble to them, what we're talking about. But money is just as important as air is to the body. If you don't have it, you're on the streets. If you don't have it, you don't eat. So this conversation is vital for our future. And the future is today. It's right now. So a person hearing this information, now you need to get with Victoria or get with myself and start preserving your wealth and start learning how to get digital assets on your own in the crypto space if you're going to partake in the FedNow system. Because it seems like they're going to make this thing mandatory, especially if you're working for the government. It's a government entity. You don't have no choice but to get paid from the FedNow system.
And if you're getting government assistance, I'm trying to, I would love to encourage people to stop getting y'all's asses on Section 8. Okay, please stop it with the SNAP. I understand the baby's got to eat. I get it. But look.
It's hard, Victoria, to get right. You can't just get right out of that. That's a whole mental shift for a person because they're going to stop it all. You're right. All that stuff is stopping. Social Security's in jeopardy. You see, I take care of my moms. Mm-hmm. I have an aide that helps me throughout the week. Right, my mother gets Social Security. So they've already slashed some things down. So that, so for a person like myself, hey, mom's will be coming with me. That's my duty. Yeah. So all these things are in jeopardy because, once again, what's worse than everything that you and I have been talking about is the debt ceiling. We're $30 trillion plus in debt that we can't pay back.
I was going to ask you about that. Why can't we just pull our money out of the reserves that are in all the other countries?
We don't have no reserves.
Then why is the news lying to us, telling us that we're like the dominant in all of the reserves for all these countries? Is that a lie?
A big lie. You got to understand that the elites own the news system. They're going to tell them what to tell the public. We sit there with an injection going right in our head watching that television. They don't have, what reserves does America have? We don't have any reserves. That's all. Okay, look. Trump said fake news, Victoria. He wasn't lying when he said fake news.
Okay, look, hold on. All right, hold on, Demi, because I know I only got you for a few more minutes and we got to jump into these comments. So let me, I'm going to bring Lynn back on here. Okay, so I already feel like you kind of agree with Lynn already, but what do you feel about what he's saying here? Thanks for speaking plain English too, Lynn. Lynn usually does a whole different thing.
Okay, Lynn.
I appreciate you speaking normally tonight, Lynn.
Each country banknotes with digital proxy is an inevitable part of the one world government, aka. So, he's on point. One world currency. We understand that central banks are all over the world, but they all work together. So I agree with him. Yep, Jamaican and Chinese is my DNA.
Okay, we got another. We got a Jamaican in the house, Mentor Shelly. Girl, all Jamaicans just everywhere. I'm a Jamaican magnet.
That's what's up.
Okay, so Mentor Shelly. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, good. I agree with him because central banks they all work together.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's not just a central bank for this country, that country. They all work together. So this one world currency has been in the talks because I remember Robert Kiyosaki talking about this in 2016. In 2016, I remember Jim Rickards talking about the conversation that you and I are having right now.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So even with me, I mean, I should be I'm holding on, blessed to be holding on to, the assets, but it should be more because I've been knew about this.
You better go put them gold backs in the safe somewhere, sir.
Well, I take them out of the safe so the people can see it.
Oh my God. Listen.
But you can Google all of this. You can Google this. This is already out there in the world. They're telling you about this. Gold backs, even when you look at the technical side of this, they're going to be worth a lot in the very, very near future. So they're a good means of exchanging for goods and services. But
okay,
I agree.
You got to come back. You have to come back. You got to come back.
Man, it's fun, man. It's fun, but it's serious.
Yeah, for sure.
It's serious.
All right. So what do you think about Mentor Shelly here? So she says, personally, I think they're going to lock down and copy Cash App's technology, but had to get rid of the owner first. If you know, you know.
Facts.
Yeah, you think so? Because the guy that killed him is a tech person as well. So
when we know the deep history of this country, I mean, come on, we had presidents that have been killed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you could put hits out, and it's all about money. All of the whistleblowers that have been coming forth in today's time, telling on the government after doing their time about. So I agree 100%.
Look, my boo is making it rain tonight. Lynn, thank you, baby. Lord have mercy. Rain again.
That's a blessing, man. That's what's up.
You deserve it.
You deserve it, bringing so much value. You deserve it.
Jamaican and Chinese. That's what I'm talking about right there. Thank you, baby.
That's a blessing.
Oh no, they're like, who is this man? Y'all, like I said, if you know, you know. But most of my audience doesn't. So Lynn is from another time of my life, and yeah, he's cool. Hey, Alonzo, if you're still here, I gotta bring Alonzo on the channel too if he'll come, because I believe I heard that Alonzo is in the insurance space, which I think is one of the easiest, cheapest flexes that any of us could ever have to build generational wealth. It's like, look, if you die, your people are taken care of. What is so hard about that?
You gotta
what is so hard about that? It's like,
for a young person, they can really leverage insurance and build. And I got to talk to you about that word, generational wealth, because I don't feel generational wealth is on the physical side. I feel it's more on the informative side. Because if I don't teach the next generation on what to do with that money that you will gain based on what I've been doing, you can lose it all. You could just be a trust fund baby and go spend the money. So I think generational wealth, and I think it's the knowledge you pass on for that person to be able to preserve the money that they gain from the individual that got, had a good policy or whatever. So that's how I look at generational wealth, man. But it's a good way to build wealth, especially when you're young. You're older. It's kind of hard, but there's so many amenities in insurance and good insurance policies. I agree with that. So yeah, that gentleman will be an amazing, great asset to come onto the platform.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Dark and Lovely says Augustin Farms is a brand I see moving. Look into it. Now, Dark and Lovely, if you're still here, can you expound on what you're saying? Is this like a prepper brand? I see they have some powdered emergency kits on their website. Is that what you're referring to? Because I do think a lot of Black folks do not prepare. So hold on. We got some more. He making it rain, y'all. He making it rain. Lord have mercy.
Man, he is making it rain.
Babe. He got paid today, y'all. Okay. No, I think low key, I think Lynn be sitting on some cash over there, But let's see what he's saying here. Financial orienteering. That's a new word. I haven't never used that one before, is a reflection of one's inner depth, and most people are depthless as byproduct of insecurity, fueling impatient and impetuous zeal as vanity. Takes the wheel of our what? God, Lynn, English.
Well, I guess if I look at that once again to
I knew
break
he was gonna
everything
cut
down
up.
with what he just said, it's all about the programming we've been through. There's zero financial education in the school system. So our parents
That's true.
didn't know it, so we don't know it. So it's not a normal thing. Everything is based on long-term retirement and social security. And with a country that's the most debted country in the world, all of those things are in jeopardy. So we got to move fast, like Monday, as soon as the markets open. Well, the markets open Sunday for traders, but as soon as you got to be making moves. You know what I'm saying? You got to get this now and make moves before you end up losing it all. I mean, how many people lost their wealth? We're talking about 85% of their 401k lost in 2008. People put on the streets. I mean, all time. So look at the debt back then and look at the debt now. I don't want this to happen to us, people, but it has to. But on the other side, because remember, when it's blood in the streets, it's opportunity. But you just got to take time out to learn about the opportunity. Yeah. Remember, gold and silver is not investing. That's just your protection. But on the other side, there's big time opportunity, man, because wealth transfer. What's a transfer? It's taken from one going to the other. So that's what's taking place right now. So all of the people who are financially getting this is the opportunity to invest and build massive wealth. Big time.
I want to finish these comments, and then I have an important question for you about that, because you just made me think of something. And I have a serious question about Black people. It's going to be that kind of closeout, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so both Kennedy brothers were unalived because they wanted to return to the gold standard, but you know who couldn't have that? RFK Jr. is actually opposed to the Fed Now thing too. So I hope he doesn't propose a gold standard, because he's gonna be gone.
Yeah, I think I'm in his Telegram group. Oh man, they are feeding so much knowledge. I'm able to get a lot of content to bring it out to the world. I'm in his Telegram group. So most definitely that was a big topic there with the gold standard. Even with people like Ron Paul, they didn't want Ron Paul to be president, because Ron Paul would have most definitely pushed for that, but he would have got assassinated. Because the central banks that's about freedom. Gold is about freedom. Gold is about control. You see what I'm saying? So anyone opposed to what these central banks are doing, man, you going down, man. That's just it. Yes, we got to teach them what to do with the inheritance. Yes, sir. Mr. Alonzo, absolutely. Got you.
Sure.
Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
And that's the thing. It's like, for my platform, I want to open it to people that have something of value to bring to people, because, I do. Oh, I don't know what YouTube's been doing, but I've been getting a lot of consultations lately. And it's like, everybody I'm talking to, for the most part, fantastic people, but it's like there was definitely some kind of like blind spot where, the consequences of like misusing credit and stuff just were not taught to them. And when I think about myself as well, nobody really taught me about money. Like, nobody taught me how to go buy a house, how to buy land. Like, I didn't even buy my land in a traditional way. Like, I bought my land like, I don't know. Anyway, I bought somebody else's like debt, essentially, bought it from the county, right? But there's a million ways to do things, which I think, obviously, if I ever have children, I'm going to teach them all of the unknown ways, because I don't believe we have to do everything the conventional way. So I'm trying to bring people on that, are using lesser known methods to get rich, or, just kind of build a legacy and stuff like that. Because if you stick to the script that school tells you, or, maybe your mom or dad told you, and they're just waiting for retirement or something, it's like, that's not going to benefit you. There's like so many ways to get assets so much faster than just saving money from a job. It's like
facts.
Yeah,
absolutely. Anyway, right on point, Victoria. Absolutely. Yeah, you got to make money separate from your job. You got to create cash flow. You got to build passive income. You got
100.
to outpace taxation, all that good stuff. Yes, prepper brand. Some items are cheaper VS. Oh, okay. And what was the name of that
So,
company? Did they state it?
yeah, I'll show it, but I mean, it's not a sponsored video, so I'll show it really quick. Augustin Farms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of Augustine.
Yeah. I
But I
guess
mean,
better than
you have some chickens and stuff down there, so I just need to come down to the country where you are, Victoria, and get some farm food.
I was telling I put a post somewhere, I think it was on my community tab for YouTube, that even like poor people here in Virginia that live in these like ramshackle mobile homes in the middle of nowhere, cows everywhere. Even the poorest people keep chickens out here. Like it's crazy. And then of course they need shotguns because bears come up and all that kind of stuff to eat the chickens. But it's like it's a whole set of things, like it's a whole set of problems that can come with it. So I think that if we do start like if we go to kind of that more simple lifestyle where we're kind of living off the land and stuff like that,
Yes.
people actually have to get over a lot of their hangups. Like you can't be uncomfortable with firearms but say that you want to live off the grid. That's not going to exist. Right? You can't be reliant upon certain comforts that we have or prescription medication and stuff like that. You're going to have to learn how to wean yourself off of that stuff because
Right.
If you really are trying to do this for real, a lot of these comforts are not going to be afforded to you out there
Right.
in the wilderness.
Yes,
If you don't know how to pick up a hammer, how the hell are you going to live in the woods? How are you going to do that? You'll be back in the city in like a day, trust me.
yes,
If a
ma'am.
bear doesn't get you first, right?
Oh, wow.
Along with whoever lives in the mountains. So when people start talking like that too, I'm like, yo, if you have a plan, have a plan, but you got to understand like this, you got to really have a plan, like for real,
Yes, ma'am.
But what I was going to ask you is do you think like there is a like a concerted effort to keep us specifically uneducated about this stuff, like to kind of hide it or to make it look like it's unattainable? Because when I tell people that I own land, they already look at me like, oh my God. And then when I tell them what I paid for it, they're like, oh my God, how? And I'm like, well, you number one, you log on to like your county's website or a county or whatever that you're interested in, and you look to see what's for sale. There's a bunch of auction sites out there where you could buy land. You could actually even buy supplies. I talk about this all the time. You could buy supplies and resell them. If you have a day job, there's a million other ways to make money. It's just you have to know where to look. You got to have a plan and you need to get creative because your job is not going to make you rich. It's
Right.
okay to have your job. That's not a problem. It's just if that is your only resource, that's where the problem comes in because they can literally flick you to the wind like tomorrow, and then what are you going to do? Right?
And it's already
That's
happened.
my biggest thing. I'm like, y'all do something different, like
Yes, ma'am.
please. I
Facts.
don't know.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Like am I
well,
talking crazy?
no,
But
you're not
do you,
talking crazy. You're talking freedom. I mean, you have land. I mean, that's big, and
but I have to make a big decision. I'll say this and then I'll let you answer the question that I asked you earlier, or I'll be quiet so you can answer it. But I was thinking about that the other day because I'm like understanding that I have to branch out too because I think okay, yeah, you got to come back because I have a lot of questions now. Because I feel like as Black people, they do kind of tell us to stick to ourselves. And then on top of that, some of us don't want to be around each other. So I'm like, okay, that's whatever. So we end up having to branch out to go to other groups to be able to do certain things. Like the other day, I was talking to a family member and I said, hey, I might have to move to this state where my land is at if I want to build on it. And the person asked me, why would you build on your land? Why would I not? Do you think I literally just got the land just to sit there and stare at the grass grow?
who I
And
say the
get
school done made us dumb? It's made us
no,
dumb, man. We don't
but
we,
the
we don't have
person,
really, with all due respect, not talk, common sense is not always common.
but
Why wouldn't I build on my land?
the person that said it has a house that somebody else had the bright idea to build on. So I'm like, okay, we've been programmed because I'm like that had to be a knee jerk question because I'm like, why would you ask me that?
you have the ultimate form of an asset. I mean, so much can be done with the land. I
Oh
mean,
my
so I
God.
don't have to tell you that, but we just don't know. So once you I don't even shake my head at our people. We've all gone through, black or white, whoever, we've all gone through the same system that's dumbed us
That's
down.
true. That's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? But when you know what's happened to us through the school system's poison. It makes you make comments like that. That's just crazy. Why wouldn't you build on your land, a free black woman in America?
It made me laugh so hard. At first I was actually annoyed because I was like, okay, this is stupid because why would you ask me that? And then I think also because I guess I have location freedom, so to speak, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to move to that state, or I could move to that state because this is what I want to do. So I have to really make a decision. And I know that, people can't just pick up and move to a different, like go from state to state. I get that. But it's like I have to think on a different level now. Like I can't think like, oh, I'm tied to my job. I can't leave. I can't do this. I can't do that. It's like, no, I have the freedom to go. So I really have to put some thought into my next move. Like if I want to build, okay, I got to kind of make a plan and see if I really want to keep that land or if I really want to build on it or like, what do I want to do? These are ideas that people around me, they're not thinking that way. So I got to
Right.
branch out and meet other people. I'd prefer to work with people that look like me, but if that's not the case, is it okay to
I mean,
work
when you
with
have people,
others?
that look like you, that are thinking like you as well. I was just reading a article of a development with 1,000 square foot homes, and it's all a black development in I forgot what part of Georgia this was in, but they're building up on the land. But the idea was to create a black community with
Yep.
these small homes where people say, I want a home, but I can't jump into this $500,000 home. But now they're getting homes built that's running them, between 100 to 200K. But it's a black community. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you do have individuals that are thinking like you, and I know you can find them. You know what I'm saying? But I got to congratulate you on that. I'm glad you shared that story with the people, because you are blessed, and there's so many things that you can diversify with that land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And make some great moves. You know what I'm saying?
And the state ain't even taxing me on it. I got some paperwork the other day. I was like, oh, damn, I got to pay taxes. They were like, this is not a tax bill. You don't owe anything. They're like, nothing is on it. So we're not going to charge you. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
But
Wow. Yeah.
I know I had to read it. I had to read the letters more than once to make sure, but it literally said your tax liability is 0. So I was like, okay, cool. But what I was gonna say, I know you gotta bounce.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is that it's very important, in my opinion, just to get with people that are thinking like you. And the black community that you're talking about, it's by a company, I believe it's called Tech Homes. And I think the guy that runs it, his name is, oh my God, it's the name of a historical black person. Booker T. Washington, I think is his actual name.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so he literally, his parents, they had big plans for Booker T. But yeah, his name is Booker T. Washington. And guys, check out my community tab, because I actually I tagged one of those videos so you can actually see the community. And he said it is 85% homeowners. So I guess 15% of the people that bought there are investors. I'm assuming he's one of them, or he has the 15%. But
Okay.
his point is you have to be a homeowner and you have to be in the home in order to live there at all. So
Okay.
I think it's an amazing,
Nice. Absolutely.
idea. But Demi, before you go, you got to talk quick, brother. Go ahead and tell the people about your Rich Education, because you have a course, right?
Yeah, I just developed a course. It's out there now. You get a free Rich Education hat with that course. It's a crypto course for beginners.
Hey.
Basically, just takes you through, being born into the crypto space, all the way to learning how to be an investor, learning how to protect it offline, and start, going into that particular asset. Also, building wealth in physical gold and physical silver. On a numismatic side, learning how to hold on to collectible gold and silver pieces as well. And also, if a person wants to build a business in in physical gold and physical silver, not selling it, but since we have a lot of companies that are going away, man, and people are laying off of me because it's with these big corporations, it's all about their bottom line. They could care less about the people. So I share with people how you can actually build a business, a home-based business, by just referring an affiliate program, how referring people to get gold and silver, and it's very lucrative. But within this program, you have health insurance, 1,000 companies where you can start saving, and also learning how to pay yourself first. We have a technology also called Sound Money Wallet where you can start building wealth in gold and silver in small increments and hit a button and get it sent to you. We partner with FedEx, so FedEx delivers your precious metals. So that's the space, man. There's some other free things that you guys can get to on my website, some free books and 401k to educate you about the 401k. I got my merch too, so if you want to dress rich in a rich education, there's your Trezor wallet. Hey, it's all there, guys. So Victoria, I can't thank you enough for allowing me to come on this amazing platform. And once again, congratulations on all the great things you're doing and on all the people you're helping too. But I'm so happy for all the great things that are going on in your life, Victoria. Thank you so much for letting me on board.
Absolutely. And you have to come back on. I honestly want to schedule you for next month. So let's go ahead and talk about it. All right.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you.
All right, Demi, I will let you get on. I know you got things to do. So I'll go ahead and close out with my people here.
All right. Thank you. Everyone have a good night.
Have a good night, Demi. Okay, you guys. Wow. Okay, so Demi Sanya, definitely one of my new most favorite people. Very educated on a lot of things. So definitely be sure to reach out to him, to get your cryptocurrency questions answered and all that good stuff. I have a feeling also that he has some input about certain things. I had a ton of questions to ask him about tonight that I didn't get to. Because, with this whole de-dollarization thing, I do believe it's going to blow up into something. And I think that a lot of people are underestimating China. So I would say, let's just keep our eyes peeled, you guys. And just like Demi said, find a way to start investing. You don't have to have a ton of money. There's 1,000,001, websites and companies that you can go to get some gold and silver. I have a video behind my membership wall for this channel that tells you exactly where I got my land from. I got 4 plots of land, and I think I got each one for like $800 each. Okay. They're definitely worth way more than that now. So not only is that something that I have where I can, build on it and increase its value, but if I'm ever hard up for cash and I have a little bit of time on my hands, I can sell those plots and have the cash in my hands. So these are little creative ways for you guys to get out there and really make a difference in the lives of your families and also in the lives of yourselves. Because, Mentor Shelley, if you're still here, you can attest having a job is great, but it's not the only way to become, a better version of yourself, as Mentor Shelley says. So I definitely am extending the invitation as well to anybody that feels like they have something to offer to the channel, whether it's in the finance space or maybe there's a business that you have legit. Okay, I want you to have your papers and things like that. But if there's something that you feel like you want to share with my audience, I'm totally down for that. I think, it's a great space right now. I'm not charging people to come on my platform. So all I ask is that you have some common sense and that your business is legitimate, because I think people can really benefit from what a lot of you have to offer. So this is absolutely your year. And before we close out, I was actually going to give you guys an opportunity to come on and chat with me tonight. But I really don't want to be on here for another 3 hours because I got a big day of consultations tomorrow. So I can't stay on too much longer. But if there's any topics you guys want to hear also, be sure to leave them in the comments below. And let me see. I think we covered everything we wanted to talk about tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and head out because it's Friday, guys, and I got to go home and sleep. So Mentor Shelley, thank you, girlfriend. And hopefully we'll have you come back on the channel pretty soon as well. How do we contact you to come on the show? Let me have you reach out to me here. That's the media company there. Okay. So you can definitely reach out to me here. Right now, I will tell you, Alonzo, I'm looking for insurance people, um, people that are well versed in retirement accounts, because one of the things that stops a lot of people from quitting their jobs is the fact that they don't know what their investments are going to look like. They don't know if they can invest after they quit their jobs. The other question that they have is, what's the max they can put into their accounts and stuff like that. And it's like, I have that information, but I'd much rather have a pro come on and talk about it, because, I have my stuff set up. And I've been waiting for the estate planner behind me to come on, but he's a busy guy, so you know he may not be able to come on. But insurance people, retirement folks, anybody that really has a alternative to this 9 to 5 lifestyle, because I if you're not happy with your current job, I don't think any amount of a raise is going to alleviate that. And it also causes a ripple effect throughout your family. So, of course, I'm going to keep talking. Y'all not getting more than 10 minutes out of me, but it does cause a ripple effect, and I do think that that's by design, because when you have a job, you work 8 hours a day, commute back and forth, do whatever you do, but you're giving your most productive hours to an organization that doesn't really appreciate you and what you offer. They appreciate what you offer to the company and how you help the bottom line. And I put that post on my Instagram today, and you can follow my Instagram at the credit solutionist underscore. But when you really think about it, if you go to work every day and you're really good at what you do, I understand that there is an allure to not having to think about things, to not have to create a system, to have to pay for your own health insurance. But if you're like me and you don't have kids or anything, and it's kind of just like you're kind of figuring out your life as you go, that $100 or $200 for insurance that your job is paying, you could pay that on your own. I hope you know that. So I don't want you to get caught up in stuff like that. On the retirement side, also, you don't have to do the work sponsored retirement. You can have a retirement outside of work also. Like you can have like 3 accounts right now. So I don't want that to be something that stops you either. But when you think about it, you go in every day and you play a part in their system. If you're good enough at it and you don't mind learning a learning curve, there's no reason that you can't step out and do that yourself or turn it around and offer it to somebody as a 1099, right? Because small business owners are the number one employers in this country. So if you're good at writing proposals, why can't you just charge small business owners to do that for them, right? If you're an HR professional, Mentor Shelley, she knows what's up. It's like HR people are business builders. Like they actually help build company policies and procedures. Like, why wouldn't you charge small companies to create those systems for them? You don't have to sit in your company's HR office and be a generalist or whatever HR people do. I mean, it's a very respectable position. I don't know, guys. I just feel like once you start thinking this way, it's very hard to go back once you know that you can make money on your own. So I definitely encourage all of you guys to do that for yourselves and get out of the matrix, because they really do want you to believe that you're trapped. All right. Thank you so much, Alonzo. Be sure to send me that email because I want to have you on as soon as you're available. Yeah, exactly. You guys are business builders. And I think really what it is people just have to start seeing themselves as more valuable. Because again, if you got fired or you quit your job, that's literally just because somebody in the background said, we can cut them so we can make more profit or we can save more of our money. They're not thinking about your family. They're not thinking about your legacy. They're not thinking about your student loan debt either. They're not thinking about any of that. They're just thinking about their bottom line. So again, there's no reason that you shouldn't be starting a small business yourself. I don't understand that. Yeah, exactly. You could be doing recruitment and all kind of stuff. Mentor Shelley, you should have came on tonight, girlfriend. I'm gonna have you on next time. But I don't know. I mean, has anybody in the chat been thinking about starting a business? And if so, I need to know what the hell is holding you back, because there's no reason not to do it. If you started and it fails, well, that's okay. You still have a job. You know, you keep your job until the business pays you twice what you're making. That's what I would do. But I'm not you, so I understand it could be different for everybody. And I don't have children, so I do speak a little more flippantly than somebody that doesn't have them. So I understand. But that's really all that I got for you guys. Since we're here and I'm going to close out, I'm going to go ahead and share my course with you guys, because I don't even think you guys knew that I had this, because I haven't been pushing it too much. But we do have a small business course if you are looking to get started and you need the step-by-step process. On YouTube are telling you guys how to start businesses, but they're not really showing you how to, like, literally step by step, going through the Secretary of State forms and all that good stuff. My course actually does that. And I did put my blood, sweat, and tears into it. And I think that if you're really serious, it is a worthy investment, because I'm probably going to be doubling this price in about, gosh, I'll probably give it another maybe 2 months. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let me see if I can access it real quick, and I'll show you guys. And then I am hopping up off of here because I think the AC just went off too. Y'all, it's a little warm up in here. So I'm gonna have to get going. Your girl should have had this pulled up already. Y'all already know. Let's copy our link here. I can't even see if anybody's even watching. So if you guys are still here, thanks for that. This is another thing too. When you have your own company and stuff, you can take your time and show people stuff. I would show you guys this part, but I don't know. All right, hold on, guys. I promise I'll get it on here in a second. And then I'm out of here. Oh, hey, Cherie, I see you there, girlfriend. I checked the chat tonight. You would be so proud of me. I totally have my course pulled up, y'all. I might just have to catch y'all on the flip side because I'm getting tired too. Well, hold on one second. And I'm not staying on here for 3 hours. I can't do that again, y'all. I love you, but not today. Yes, you are. That's right. I'm about to be one of your clients too. Just so you know, because I'm not trying to get sued or nothing when I start hiring people. So yes, please start that business. Y'all are looking at literally what can happen though. Because if you get nervous about like flubbing in front of people, you're gonna have to get over that. Because like I said, I'm looking for my course. And I swear I totally had it pulled up and everything. And I'm still learning the platform that I have it on, which is so funny. I don't want to show y'all that part. We'll look at it as a student. Y'all be straight learning as I go. This is so crazy. Oh my God. Bro. Thank you, girl. Yeah, I decided to take the braids out. And I be telling y'all, because Black girls got to do this, but shrinkage is real, y'all. My hair be hating, but I think it likes the humidity too here in Virginia. So that's really good. Yeah, and I need to have you on, Mentor Shelly, actually to talk about that, because I need to know Is there something that is different when you hire 1099s versus W-2 employees as well? That's something that I need to know as a business owner, because I plan on hiring 1099s. Because I will tell you guys one thing that will happen when you start a business is you're going to get burned out. You're going to get really tired. There are going to be times where you're just going to want to slap somebody. And sometimes when you're going to want to slap yourself, like right now, because I totally should have been prepared. So it is what it is. All right, let's see. Boom, we got it, y'all. Y'all so patient. I love y'all. And shout out to Linya and Chin for making it rain tonight, baby. My Lord, you done bought me like 10 pizzas. Probably more than that, because that's Canadian dollars. Okay, so this is the course, you guys. This is the Small Business Blueprint, and this is part of the Solutionist University line of courses. I will have a few things coming up that are going to be a little different, because I have to be a little more crafty with how we put this stuff up, because I cannot put credit repair courses up on certain platforms. But anyway, if you have a daydream, Cherie and I actually did a live stream where we talked about starting a business really fast for a very low amount of money. The Small Business Blueprint is literally, that was what like inspired that live stream, because I created this course for you guys. It's literally step by step. Every module is a video with an accompanying, like I'm going through the pages, I'm going through different systems that I use that you could use. We go through taxes. We talk about finding your why. I have a list of like, I think it was 50 different businesses that you could start literally from wherever you are right now. Like there's no reason that you can't do these kinds of things. Building the foundation. Look, each one of these is a literal video that walks you through the entire process of starting a business, all the way down to business plan examples. Now, I don't know if she's doing it now, but Cherie, that's in the chat right now, used to write business plans. And I think if the price is right, she might consider doing that for you. But don't nickel and dime her, because I promise you, she will not do it. But we go through credit, how to get funding for your businesses as well. Why you have to separate your businesses, because a lot of y'all be thinking you can run one business or 5 businesses under one name when none of them have anything to do with each other. You need to understand why you shouldn't do that, and how it also helps you to get more credit lines if you separate everything, right? Things I use, business funding, how to pay yourself, very important depending on your business structure. So we talk about that. I even give you a run through on how to make 10K in 30 days based on my business model. It's extremely easy to do. All you have to do is know your math. Again, we talk about taxes, gaining visibility, and social proof. So YouTube is part of my social proof strategy as well, because I cannot tell you how many consultations paid I get from my YouTube channel. If you have looked, I've barely been on YouTube for the last 2 months, and I literally get a consultation booked about every other day. Alert comes through, and my consultations, in my opinion, are not cheap. So there you go. Yes, ma'am. We need to talk behind the scenes about that, because this is uncharted territory for me. But like I said, guys, that's the course. It's 25 modules. And I want to say it's a couple of hours worth of content, if not more, because y'all know I like to talk, but I take you literally through the entire process. The other thing that I will do, if we get enough people to grab the course, we're going to be doing live like Q&As, right? I'm sure some of you guys have been in people's courses that do that kind of thing. I do want to do Q&A with you guys, because I think also that's like a great supplement on top of the comprehensive breakdown that I give you for everything. There's also accompanying PDFs with every single module in this course as well. So I truly believe the price is modest. I know that I'm definitely underselling this. And at the end of the day, once that price goes up, I'm not going to lower it, because I got to tell you, once you become a business owner too, you're going to understand. I'm going to be quiet before I tell on myself, but people will pay you what you're worth. Okay. The ones that don't want to, They just not ready, and that's okay, right? Perfect. Okay. Well, look, I do fiber for now. So anyway, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because again, Cherie knows her worth, you guys. But like I said, here, I know y'all just went through tax time, all that good stuff. This is even part of what me and Demi were talking about. It's like, why are you not taking the steps? That's the real question. I literally have a small business course here. You can look my business up online. You can look my business up with my Secretary of State. You can do all the fact checking you need to do. I run a business, right? You Even what I'm doing right now on YouTube, this is a business. I know a lot of people don't think that it is, but it absolutely is. This is an income source for my company. This is not part of credit repair. This is a whole different company that I have. So yeah, when you see us on YouTube, YouTube is a business. You can learn how to structure your YouTube channel with this course right here, right? So a lot of this stuff is right in front of us that we could be using, but for whatever reason, we are just not doing it because, you might be stuck in the 9 to 5 thought pattern, I guess. I don't know what else to call it. I started my business out of defiance, to be quite honest. Like my boss pissed me off one day and I was like, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and create a getaway plan because my job is not my life. So there you go. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got for you. Thank you to Mr. Lin Yan Chin again for making it rain. That was so awesome. I so appreciate you. But yeah, guys, go check out the course. Let me give you the link here. And Cherie's going to help me put together a live stream about my course. Okay, guys? But I put it in the chat there so you guys can click on that and do your thing. All right. But yeah, I'm going to get on out of here. Again, if you want to be a guest on the show to bring your magic to the audience, you never know where this channel is going to go. The video will stay up indefinitely. All right, guys. So that's all I got for you. I think I'm going to go pass out now. I'm tired and it's been a long week. So I will see you guys on the next video. Be sure to check us out next week. I will have Rod from Points Blank Travel on the channel. So if you ever have any questions about credit, traveling, and how to use points, that's your guy. And he even does a little bit of crypto. So it's going to be a good one, you guys. All right. I will see you guys later. Credit Solutionist out.